Hi guys, welcome to the class. Today we are going to discuss about transportation engineering 2. My name is Gopi Chandragarpati from Chevron Engineering College, working as assistant professor in civil department. We are going to discuss about what is meant by transportation engineering, role of transportation engineering, and types of transportation what we have going through. What is transportation engineering? Transportation engineering is the application of the principles of engineering where planning, analysis, and design to the disciplines comprising transportations. Here, what we have is whether to plan such a way or route the mean of transportation which we are meant to be, we have to execute a plan. According to that plan, we have to analyze and design that mean of transportations. Here we have to go through whether while we are constructing a roadway, we have to go through the vehicles volume per day or week or month or year and its physical infrastructure, whether the safety of the travelers or the transportation is much necessary, and also environmental impacts. Okay, going through here a role of transportation. In this, the main role which plays by the transportation, we have every products need to be transported, whether are agricultural products or manufactured goods, whatever it may be, the every product needs to be transported to certain distance or particular places. Next point, better systems can provide easy access and benefits to low costing of products. So if there is no proper transportations or proper route for the agricultural farmers or whatever it the manufacturing goods, if there is no proper transportation to particular area, the necessity would be high to that particular area, so that will also be the demand. So where the demand and necessity rises, the cost of that good also increases. So better the system can provide easy access and benefit to low costing of products. Next point, availability of raw materials can be provided to the manufacturing units. Here we have some we take that soap manufacturing industries or mills, cotton mills, whatever it may be, the raw materials to that manufacturing companies need that raw material to construct a good or to manufacturing a good. They need some raw materials like newspaper industry, whatever it may be. So the availability of that raw material is far from that city or town or nearby. So the main access to that is transportation, or either it may be a roadways or whichever mean of transportation it may be. Next, social effects on transportations. People of remote areas can come closer to the city or town. Here, if there is some remote areas, some rural areas where the medical attentions are low, if the hospitals are too far from there, where they are living, the people of remote areas, if the route or transportation is the ways which we provide are available in that rural areas or remote areas, they can come closer. If there are farming, there are some goods to be manufactured, some agricultural feeds to sell their goods into the city or town, whatever it may be. So they can easily sell their goods, and if they are any, they have to need any medical attentions, they will go through. Next, people from different parts of country can reach far places with convenience and in less time. Yes, of course, if they are studying, some of our students are after completion of btech, ms for studies, they have to go for higher studies to the other states or countries. Within meantime, they will come and go like that. Okay. Next, decreases growth of slums in urban areas. Good point. Here, decreases growth of slums means if they have proper access to the materials or to every goods what they have to be needed for daily life, they can easily get it. If the transportation is familiar, if the transportation, the routes have been there for accommodating themselves or daily supplies, they can get easily. If the slums too far or remote areas, where in previous point we have already said that remote areas, so that decreases the growth of slums. Okay. Next, going through other effects of transportations. Here, helps in maintain law and order in the country. Obviously, if there is any discrepancies or any clashes of the groups or two communities, the law and order can easily maintained. Next, we can supply ammunition and manpower fast and easily. In borders, in border security forces, if the routes are not proper, the routes are not possible for reaching to the far distances so quickly. If any attacks have been made on us, if the proper routes are not there, the ammunition, the gunpowder, something like the fireworks, the fire powers, and manpower fast and easily. So if the transportation is available, either airways or whichever mean of transportation is available, to access quickly and easily, to carry a lot of ammunitions and manpower to that particular area when it needs. Next, it helps in reducing individual source of pollution. In remote areas, we live in separate, everyone lives in their individual houses. They create certain wastage on daily basis. They create certain wastages on daily basis. If we consider a town or city, the wastages, the pollution made by the mankind have been seen through while entering into the city or leaving out the city. Next, going through a role of transportation in national development. How the transportation is useful or plays a key role in national development. First one, economic growth. We can easily access for, we can have easily access for the goods or raw materials for the manufacturing industries, for the agriculture or farmers to sell their goods, or mini scale industries. So the transportation is available, so that sorry, okay, so that if the transportation is available and made much quicker, the all there will be an economical growth automatically. Next, place utility of goods, utilization of goods, and time utility of goods. We see that some goods will expire too soon and some goods may take some time. When we take that uh, food products, processed food products, whatever it may be, we consider time utility of goods, like dairy products or daily basis vegetables. They are too soon to be expired. If the transportation took too long for them to sell their goods, it's lots of waste to be to be say that the goods will be wasted if the transportation took too long for the buyers to buy and sellers to sell their products. Next, mass productions. Mass productions will be there, and exploitations of natural resources. Obviously, the transportations from the rural areas or hilly areas, we consider from one place to the another place, while increasing the mean of transportations, obviously we exploit the natural resources. So urbanization and industrial development, agricultural development will be done, and costs of the goods will be decreased to certain amount, and defense and strategic needs, transport facilities and social activities should be seen. These are all plays key role. So like that we can increase our nationals, we can increase our national income, whatever it may be. So it's, if the transportation is better to a nation, that nation will be easily developed. Next, the type of transportation ways we have are railways, as we see, surface or underground or elevated, light rail transit, road transportations, air transport, and water transport. Roadways. The classification of roadways are national highways, state highways, major district roads, other district roads, or village roads. Next, national highways. The main aim of the national highways, the main goal is to run through the length and breadth of the country. They connect national capitals to the state capitals, national capitals to the state capitals, and major cities or towns and border areas, like that. They should have, the national highways should have at least two traffic lanes for excellent strength to carry heavy traffic, and good surface, good it must have a good surface finishing. Next, the construction and maintenance of these roads, the national highways which we are talking, the construction and maintenance of these roads are usually carried out by the central government itself. Next, state highways. These are main roads running within the states, interstates or interstates, within the states. The main roads are running, they connect important towns, cities of that particular state with the national highways. These are generally one lane, but two lanes are always to be preferred, either national highways or state highways. They are mainly preferred to have two lanes. Next, they have modern type of bituminous or concrete surfacing. The construction and maintenance of these roads are usually carried out by the state government itself. One more thing here, let's go through the national highways. Go through the national highways. When we see the national highways, the milestones we see, the national highways are marked with yellow and white, so that itself describes about its national highway. Based on the color of the milestones, we can say that is a national highway. And for state highways, it should be when roads are constructed or manufactured by the state, the green colored milestones are used. And next, going through district roads. These roads connect all the districts, all production areas and markets with state highways, so they can easily what they were they can easily transport the goods and the raw materials to the industrial purpose or for daily usage purpose. They have single metalled lane of traffic. The district roads of when the roads are constructed or manufactured by the states, the black and white colored milestones are used for the district roads. And next, village roads. These connect the villages with each other and also towns nearby. These are generally established earth roads. These are generally established earth roads, but metal surfaces are preferred. If we consider any national highways or any mean of roadways, the metallic surfaces are almost preferred, so that the maintenance and repairing their maintenance services are to be occurred lessly occurred less when compared to the earth roads. So metal surface roads are preferred. When roads are constructed or manufactured, the orange and white milestones are used for the village roads. The construction and maintenance are carried out by the local district boards. And one more point, the longest national highway is NH44. It covers a distance of 3745 kilometers from Srinagar to Kanyakumari. And another point, the shortest national highway we have is NH47A. It is of only 5.9 kilometers in distance, which covers from Kundanur junction of Maradu in Kochi city to the Kochi port. Next, going through, these are the roadways which are we previous years of topics, like transportation engineering 1 we have covered that roadways. So in this transportation engineering 2, the topics which we mainly covered are railways and airways. going through component parts of railway track. The typical component parts are rails. You can see the image down below. Rails, sleepers or ties, and fasteners, ballast or slab track to the subgrade. And we have the rails of different gauges we can observe in India, where the clear minimum. What is meant by a gauge? Here we see the gauge means the clear minimum horizontal distance between the inner faces of the two rails. Either it may be of broad gauge or narrow gauge. Broad gauge or narrow gauge. So rail forming a here the gauges are the clear minimum horizontal distance to one rail to the other rail. That nominal distance between those two rails is the minimum horizontal distance of the linear faces of the two rails forming a track is known as a gauge. Let me repeat that again. What is meant by a gauge? When we consider the two rails for a railway track, when we consider the two rails, the horizontal distance between the inner faces of that two rails forming a track, railway track, is known as a gauge. Going so far, the inner, you can observe in this peak, the inner horizontal distance between two rails is known as a two rails of the track is known as gauge. Going through broad gauge, when the clear horizontal distance between the inner faces of the two parallel rails forming a track is 1.6 meters or 1676 mm, the gauge is called as broad gauge. This gauge is also known as standard gauge of India. We have about 63% of railway routes are covered by this standard gauge, which means broad gauge. The inner to inner, the minimum horizontal distance between these the horizontal distance between the two rails is 1.6 meters, and the suitability of these broad gauge is, the suitability means it can be affordable by that if the sufficient funds are available for the railway project, and when the prospects of revenue are very high. Then we consider the standard gauge of India, or that means nothing but broad gauge. This gauge is therefore used for tracks in plain areas which are densely populated, that is for routes of maximum traffic intensities and at places which are centers of industry and commerce. These standard gauges are mainly used in the routes where highly populated and industrial areas and for commercial purposes. Next, going through meter gauge. Previously we have seen about broad gauge, the inner to inner horizontal distance between two rails is 1.6 meters, 1.676 meters. It is said to be broad gauge. when coming to meter gauge, the horizontal distance between two rails is said to be of 1 meter. The gauge is known as a meter gauge. The gauge is said to be a meter gauge. The suitability of using a meter gauge: when the funds available for the railway projects are inadequate, if the funds are high, if the funds are suitable, then we lay broad gauges. If the funds are inadequate, that means not proper in way, then we go for meter gauges. When the prospects of revenue are not very bright, then also we can go through meter gauge. This gauge is therefore used for tracks in underdeveloped areas and in interior areas where traffic intensity is small and prospects for future developments are not very bright. In some rural areas, for the past 50 years, there is not much economical growth and the population have not increased much, then that routes can be laid with a meter gauges, so that if the populations are like that very limited and underdeveloped areas, these meter gauges are useful. Next, going through narrow gauge. When the clear horizontal distance between the inner faces of the two parallel rails forming a track is either 762 mm or 610 mm, then the gauge is said to be of narrow gauge. The suitability of these narrow gauges are: when the construction of track with wider gauge is prohibited due to the provision of sharp curves, steep gradients, narrow bridges and tunnels, etc. These narrow gauges are mainly suitable at hilly areas, whether we go through caves and steep gradients. We can observe steep gradients and sharp curves on a hilly regions, so the narrow gauges are much widely used in hilly regions. And when the prospects of revenue are not very bright, the gauge is therefore used in hilly and very thinly populated areas. So previously we have mainly usage of gauges of three types: broad gauge, meter gauge and narrow gauge. In broad gauge, the minimum horizontal distance between the two parallel rails is of 1.676 meters, nothing but 1676 mm, and for meter gauge, the horizontal distance between two parallel rails is 1 meter, and for narrow gauge it is minimum of 762 mm or else 610 mm. Going through okay, that's the end of today's lecture. So see you in the next class.